We live in a world rife with judgments. Everyone's judging us, trying to convince us of how we should live our lives. And I feel like the hardest thing to do is try to find out who your true self is when everyone's constantly trying to tell you what that means. What it means to be black, what it means to be cultured, what it means to be Republican or Democrat or left or right, whatever. And today's chapter is focused on helping you find your true self amongst a world that's so judgmental. Our identity is a complex weave of experiences, perceptions, and the roles we choose or are assigned. The journey to understanding oneself can be an illuminating path, yet it's fraught with the peril of becoming too ensnared in a singular narrative, a single thread in the vastness of who we really are. Think for a moment. What happens when we fixate too much on the identity we've sculpted for ourselves? When our view of others and ourselves is filtered solely through the lens of this crafted persona, do we risk losing sight of the true narrative of our existence? The truth is, identity as we understand it is an ever evolving story, not a static definition. As we navigate through the odyssey of life, we often encounter the enigma of self perception versus reality. I recall my own journey with a sense of introspection. For a significant portion of my life, I anchored my identity in the belief that I was the quintessential good guy, and good guys always finish last. However, a deeper reflection revealed a startling revelation. I was the architect of my own problems. My past is littered with instances where I, unbeknownst to myself, inflicted pain upon others. I pushed people away, preemptively guarding against hurt, only to perpetrate the very cycle I feared. My actions, marred by a lack of self awareness, often bordered on hostility and rudeness. Yet in those moments, I was oblivious to the role I played, way too entangled in the narrative of my victimhood. This self imposed victim narrative led to the creation of my villain arc, an arc I believed I had to overcome to prove my worth and righteousness. But perhaps in seeking this vindication, I was merely chasing a tale of my own making, a story I wanted to narrate about myself. In the words of Don Miguel Ruiz, there's a profound analogy of the human condition in his book, The Four Agreements, which is one of my favorites. He speaks of a planet where everyone suffers from a skin disease, a poignant metaphor for the emotional scars we bear. Imagine a world where the norm is to live with such pain that the mere act of human touch brings agony. This allegory mirrors our emotional wounds, wounds often invisible to the naked eye, yet profoundly impactful in shaping our interactions and relationships. Ruiz's insights resonate deeply with me, particularly his thoughts on how these emotional wounds, laden with fear, anger, hate, sadness, envy, and hypocrisy, shape our existence. We live in a world where emotional pain has become so normalized that it's often mistaken for the status quo, thereby perpetuating a cycle of suffering. This understanding has led me to a crucial realization about my own life. The suffering I endure is often a reflection of how I treat myself. It's a mirror showing me how my actions and thoughts reverberate through my interactions with others. Recognizing this, I've embarked on a journey to shed the self-imposed titles and narratives that have long defined me. I've begun to unravel the threads of my identity, seeking to understand rather than to judge, to heal rather than to harm. In seeking peace, I've learned to question the narratives I've clung to. Is the suffering I experience necessary for my growth, or is it a chain I've forged through my perceptions and actions? And asking these questions, I invite anyone grappling with similar struggles to ponder their paths. How can we wake up from the self-centered dreams of suffering? Is it possible that we seek lies not in proving ourselves to others, but in finding peace within? As you embark on this journey of self-discovery and healing, I encourage exploring the wisdom of thinkers like Don Miguel Ruiz and his son's books. If I were to start over, I would read in this order: The Four Agreements, The Fifth Agreement, The Five Levels of Attachment, The Mastery of Self, The Mastery of Love, The Circle of Fire, The Voice of Knowledge, and then The Three Questions. But that's just personal preference. You could start however you want, but I would say The Four Agreements is probably the best place to start. Here's the thing. The quest for self-understanding is not about casting aside our identity, but about expanding our perception of it. It's about recognizing that we are more than the sum of our experiences and the roles we play. It's about waking up from narratives we've authored about ourselves and embracing the full spectrum of our being. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards of self-awareness and inner peace are immeasurable. So I pose the final question. What do you have to lose in seeking the true essence of your being? I just want you guys to see this. That visualization about the sores with the poison in it and how a world like that where people had that skin condition and it was considered normal, how they would treat each other. How would they would treat each other if they got too close, if they accidentally touched each other or hugged each other. Like, it's considered normal. So everyone says, hey, it's all okay. This is what life is. But then if you became healed in that world, people wouldn't be able to understand you. People wouldn't even be open to getting anywhere close to you. Even as you said, hey, it's okay, I'm here. And maybe you have a path to being healed, but how could someone believe they could be healed if they don't believe it already? Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing. You have to understand that peace could exist, that happiness could exist, to know, to even be open to the ideas and the steps necessary to be able to live that life. I don't know, like, how everything is going to work itself out. And I don't know what your own journey is, but I hope by sharing my own and how I perpetrated my own pain and how I actually curated the life that was making this villain arc that I needed to overcome, that it helps maybe you see what might be your way of being able to support yourself in the journey. Because we could argue all day with other people of what they can do, but we always have to start with ourselves. It's the only thing we got. If you guys enjoy it, go to ihopeyouwakeup.com. You can read this chapter. I'm still working on it. I kind of riffed a little bit, so make sure to read through it. There's 30 chapters in total now. When we get to 50 in about 20 days, I'm going to start shipping out the book. So I'm super excited. Make sure to pre-order the book. I love you. Reach out if you have any questions. I'm on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or shoot me an email. I'll add you to the newsletter. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, peace.